Good evening. My name is Kate Jones, and I am introducing myself to my friends here in the building finance class. A little bit about me. This is my family, my husband Rich, my son Richie, my son Brian. Um, I've been pretty passionate about their educations for quite a while, with my older son being on the autism spectrum as well as having severe ADHD, and my younger son also uh, having ADHD. So I am very interested in looking at different options for education that benefit them. In addition, we are huge baseball fans. We love the New York Mets. And we all love baseball so much. I personally love reading, listening to history podcasts, attempting to organize my life with pretty stickers and post-it notes, even though nothing actually gets very well organized. We recently moved from Brooklyn, New York, to Union Beach, New Jersey, and we love it here. We love living by the beach. We love the small town feel, even though we can see New York City from just a couple of blocks away. So, quite cool. My career so far has been I have a bachelor's and a master's degree from Brooklyn College, and I've been in this program on and off for the last 4 years. I took a break with COVID. Um, Most of my career has been spent at St. Edmund Prep in Brooklyn, New York, where I taught social studies. Uh, just about every class in the book. I also, for about 7 years, was the IB diploma program coordinator. For 3 years, I was department chair. For 2 years, I was the region testing coordinator, and I was also the National Honor Society moderator. Most of the time, I was doing those four jobs at the top, all at the same time. Since then, since moving to Jersey, I did take a job in a middle school, Holy Cross Academy, where I taught sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. But have since moved on for a little bit of a more flexible gig for now, because it benefits my family, and that's at Fusion Global Academy, which is a private online school, one-to-one. So, after viewing some of the information in our readings, these were some of the observations I made on school finance. Um, Over 90% of public school funds come from state and local government, or as I'd like to call it, why my property taxes are so high. Um, as someone who spent most of my career in Catholic and private education, um, this is flooring. It's a big number. So most of our funding came from fundraising and tuition. So uh, making sure that we are meeting state requirements is very important, but to see the extent to which that affects public schools was a little shocking. Federal funding is usually given for specific programs such as Title I, ESL, and the IDEA, which is the Disability Educational Act. Other responsibilities of the principal. The principal should develop and administer an attainable and responsible budget. One of the things that I noticed at my old job, working closely with my principal, was I had to see her dig our school out of a pretty deep hole when she took over the role. Um, it was extremely stressful and frustrating for her. It was a stressful time for the school community because we weren't sure that all the teachers were going to be able to be hired back. But in addition, it took a long time to fix it. And we were really worried that we wouldn't be able to. And as a Catholic school, that doesn't mean a bailout in any way. That means closing. So that was something that was a big concern of ours. The principal is also responsible for fundraising activities. While I did see my principal oversee fundraising, I've also seen the PTA in my students in my children's schools take over a good amount of the fundraising, and in many of the private schools I've worked for, the development offices take care of that. Counting the dollars, the principal should be making sure to have a great accountant and a great accounting system. And there seems to be a lot of options for information systems for keeping records. And also, the principal has to make sure that teachers are paid appropriately. I can't even imagine the chaos that would go down if teachers didn't get paid. One of the other things that I noticed stressing my old boss out was mandated reporting. So when she would be sitting in her office, surrounded by papers and surrounded by emails, where she would be able to put together detailed reports that needed to be sent to the state in order to ensure continued compliance with the state. So, and in order to ensure that we would get that funding for giving state exams. Um, Also, I noticed here how technology has made many things easier, but has made financial reports more complicated because technology is expensive. One of the things I learned that was a little frustrating was the idea that principals have little say over how the funding is spent. Principals really are the people who know where that money needs to go. So the fact that they don't really have much of a say I would imagine that to be very frustrating for them. And also, principals who are given flexible spending are able to better spend according to their school's priorities. So I guess my big observation here is if we know that principals who are given flexible spending are able to better spend the dollars, why are we controlling how they spend it? That to me um, seems like a gimme, but of course, I'm sure it's more complicated. Overall, one of the things that I have always had in the back of my head when doing this program is that I really don't have much of a desire to be a principal. I would love to be a curriculum leader. I would love to be an assistant principal. But my fear of that budget and the idea of moving a decimal point the wrong way has always been one of the things that overwhelms me when I think of being a principal. So, school finance in general, overall, is one of my biggest concerns. Here are my resources, and thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to working with you all.